Well, YouTube, it's my birthday. This year I'm 36 years old. I love when people try to guess because the range I've gotten is somewhere between 28 and about 60, so thank you all for the emphatic opinions about how old I am. But I actually think birthdays are a special time. Not necessarily in the way that we celebrate them, not in the way of like, hey, let's all get together and get drunk and party, and that feels a little narcissistic. I mean, not narcissistic, it feels a little bit like, birthdays are special when you're up to like 16 years old, 17 years old, and then you reach a point where it's like, do we really need to acknowledge the fact that I've gotten a year older? Do we need to acknowledge the fact that I was born? Yes, it happened. I frequently like to think, what would happen if we didn't have clocks or calendars, but we just went back to like a more feral life where we were aware of seasons and flow of the stars, but not specific dates. And in fact, I am always fascinated for when one person's lunar birthday comes, right? Because that's how a lot of cultures traditionally would have marked. Anniversary of your birth is by the phase of the moon in the season, not necessarily on the calendar day. Why I think birthdays are special is actually because of my notion of, we'll call it the seed theory. That at the beginning of anything, the beginning of a job, a relationship, a year, if you pay attention to the first seeds that are planted, just like if you knew plants well and could identify individual seeds as being different from one another, and you could tell just by looking at it what kind of plant it would grow into, you could just see this one little thing in your hand and know eventually what it would become. I believe that it is also true of relationships, times, places. So why I think a birthday is important is that you are careful and you're paying attention, both on your calendar day or the lunar birthday. So for me, the lunar birthday happened about a week and a half ago. If you pay attention to the flow of the day, you might get a good sense of what karma is coming for you in the coming year. Just as I really do firmly believe that at the beginning of a relationship, your first date, your first hours of meeting, the first day on a job, you can kind of tell the way it's going to go if you're slowing down, if you're being present, and if you're paying attention. It's one of the things that I say about meeting my husband is I proposed to him on the first date. Like, it was more magical and connected than anything I had ever felt before or since. And here I am 8.5 almost years later, still crazy in love with him, crazy attracted to him, can't keep our hands off of each other, still think the other person's the most amazing person we've ever met, and I can't believe we're so lucky to be in each other's lives. So when I pay attention to the day of my birth, I pay attention to what is this next year going to bring. So on my lunar birthday, a week and a half ago, I had a really profound meditation experience sitting outside and connecting with this gorgeous sunset at twilight and sitting in front of a fountain. I had some really cool things happen in my personal life, body, and in my day. Like, it bodes well for the coming year. Now, when I thought about recording this YouTube video, I thought about doing something extravagant, a la Mr. Beast, because I was reading about him in the New York Times a week or so ago, and how some people think he's evil. And I didn't really have an opinion about it, but inspired by that article, I was like, oh, what if I do something like that? What if I do a YouTube video that says, it's my birthday, so I bought all the homeless people on my block dinner? And I suddenly felt grossed out by it. I was like, I think that's a lovely thing to do. Yeah, it's your birthday. Go buy everybody dinner on your block who doesn't have food. But do it because you want to do it, not because you want to create a viral YouTube video. And I, in that moment, realized why people said he might be evil, because I was like, oh, that feels really exploitive. It feels really, really very nasty. And while I could have made that choice and probably gotten a lot more views than this one's going to get, I tried to instead go back to always, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? And it's not to get clickbait. It's not to get a billion views. It's to offer a thought or an idea that I think will be valuable to somebody else. So this week, my thought is pay attention to the beginnings because when it's your birthday, when you're starting that first date or that first job, pay attention because you might learn something about what's coming. So I invite you to have a fabulous new year whenever it arrives for you. To live your life and your days consciously with gratitude, with joy, with pleasure, with fun, with kindness, with sweetness, and to build a life that you feel so blessed to be living. Because we are all constantly creating our reality. And you can create a life that's wonderful, and you can create a life that's terrible. It's really up to you. It's up to you how you want to live. All right, well, time to go celebrate my birthday. Peace and blessings.